But you know what? You won't be stressed out when your business takes off and you're making money. You won't be stressed out over finances.
Yes and no. You're not going to be worried about paying things. You're just going to have to be worried about where money's moving, when, and...
It's a different stress. It's a better stress.
Definitely is a better stress. It is a stress that I would rather deal with versus...
being broke.
Me calling you crying because my car's not starting.
Why is there a pink crock on the light?
Because this is our daughter's baby croc. From when she first started walking, she wanted Crocs like me. And now it no longer fits her, and she found it the other day, and she was like, we need to give it to another baby. And I was like, just stab me in my heart. I started a new path in my life around November. I found Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit. The ideals they preach really resonated with me, and being that I have no other mentors, I jumped headfirst into implementing those ideals into my current relationship and all aspects of my life.
So you cheating on your woman now? Because that's what they tell you men are supposed to do. And we are back.
Huh? We're back. I am just salivating for you right now.
Yeah, it's the boots, isn't it?
The boots. I really like that shirt on you. That shirt specifically. I don't know what it is about it.
Is it because it says on the back everyone wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster things?
Maybe.
I actually think it says gangster shit, but...
I think it does say gangster shit.
So what are we doing today?
Well, I got nothing specifically going on today. Just kind of recording the podcast. We're meeting up with the Discord people later.
Whole lot of people at the studio today.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get snacks or something. You're like a bad host if we don't.
They actually asked if we wanted to go to dinner afterwards, which, depending on how late we're there, will determine whether or not I actually want to go to dinner. But we have a lot going on today. Today's going to be a busy day. I'm glad that we're able to get this episode in and out of the way so I don't have to worry about it. I got episode 45 uploaded into AJ already. Why is there a pink crock on the light?
Because this is our daughter's baby croc. From when she first started walking, she wanted Crocs like me. And now it no longer fits her, and she found it the other day, and she was like, we need to give it to another baby. And I was like, just stab me in my heart. So I'm keeping it here so she can't see it.
She was trying to pass it along to somebody who needs it.
Memories. I also don't know where the other croc is. So we just have the lone pink croc, and I don't think it'll do a baby very well.
You never know. Somebody else could be missing a singular pink croc. I'm not saying to give it away. You could encase it in epoxy for all I care.
I might. This is why I want to get a pink glitter croc tattooed on me.
Yeah.
I talked to Jeff about it already.
It's funny.
I'm going to get it somewhere you don't have to look at it regularly. I know you don't like Crocs.
I'm not a fan.
I know.
They're comfortable.
Yeah.
They're just ugly as shit.
I like how they look.
It's like wearing a foam wiffle ball. Do you remember those?
I do, yeah. That makes sense. Do you remember those grippy things you used to put on your pencils in school? Like the triangular looking ones? That's the feeling it has too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to package shirts today. We have to make TikToks today about the shirt release.
Oh no, I didn't organize anything.
That's right. We got to go down there today. We're not going to package anything till Monday, so
okay, perfect.
we have time. We have stickers. We're going to end up going through that shit tonight for the Discord because they're going to buy all their shit while they're there.
Okay. I'm going to have to go in there tomorrow and organize all of that.
Yeah.
Especially if we do dinner tonight.
Your hair's getting pretty long, woman.
I know. I like it. I'm starting to feel like Rapunzel. It goes maybe a little bit past my shoulders, but I'm like, I got you. Climate Prince.
But when you straighten it, it's long.
It is
when
very
you don't,
long.
it's like shoulder length.
Yeah, when I straighten it, we're talking like below the shoulder blades.
Yeah.
Long. I'm very excited.
The longer it gets, the heavier it'll be, the less like springy it'll be, right?
I think I'll still have the tight curls down at the bottom, but then I'll go up and get like beach wavy, I think.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know because
I don't know what that means. Beach wavy.
Different types of curls. I was going to say it's a woman thing, but I know that there are also men out there who very much take care of their hair and know the different type of...
My hair is curlier than yours.
My hair also has a lot of damage.
When I have it.
When you have it.
You know, around the sides and back.
Yeah.
Could grow it out and have a skullet.
A skullet?
Be the only way yeah. Because this just isn't there.
Right. I enjoy you bald.
Yeah.
That was one of the first
I don't
things
have a
that made
choice.
me attracted to you.
I mean, I have a choice. I could look like George Carlin, but
Yeah, you could do the skullet.
yeah, I won't.
I would braid it.
I won't. But oh man.
I love shaving your head for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very intimate thing for me. Makes me feel like I don't know, it's a wifely thing of me to do. And I think it brings that feminine energy to you in one of your manly duties.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Do you also enjoy it as much as I do?
Well, yes, I do. I also enjoy not having to do it.
Okay.
Which is definitely a plus because shaving my own head sucks.
I love that I can do it for you.
Just time consuming. I don't like shaving, period.
Yeah. You get to fuck around on your phone while
Play my game.
I groom you.
Yep. It's a mixture of love and laziness.
Yeah. I would give you pedicures and shit too if you were down for it.
No, we ain't doing that.
No. I am going to get us that magnesium spray though.
Yeah.
That's going to be a thing.
I don't need it.
I think you do.
Damn, did you just call me stinky?
No, I didn't say you're stinky. I think everybody in America is low on magnesium.
I take a magnesium supplement.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone but my husband.
Let's just get into this.
Okay. This email is titled, I am a male viewer and need advice to finding my sexual intimacy with my fiance.
This is a perfect opportunity to promote Matrix hormones.
Okay.
Because I don't know what's going on here.
Get it, babe.
But we know that testosterone is 1/3 of what our grandfathers was because of the food and the things, the outside environments that we put into our body. Male testosterone is dropping. We are huge proponents of getting your blood work done. We are both patients at Matrix Hormones. They were able to get my blood levels completely normal, get me on a regimen. We
Brag about it.
found some things about you that we didn't know that we needed to know. So if you guys are looking to do anything hormone related, check out matrixhormones.com. If you would like to get your blood work done, there is a drop down that says who sent you. It's actually like a referral link. But To Be Better is on there. If you click that, it'll save you $200 on your consultation.
$200 is a lot of money.
It is. It is. Yep. They're very knowledgeable down there. We actually interviewed the owner and his partner.
I want to say his partner. Yes.
Yep. Super knowledgeable dudes.
Very smart
Yeah.
guys, dudes, goods.
Goods.
Wow.
Would that be good dudes?
Good dudes. Yeah.
Goods.
Maybe. Goods.
What's up, goods?
All right. My fiance, 28 female, and I, 26 male, have been together for almost 4 years. We have 2 kids. One kid is mine from a previous marriage. The other kid is hers from a previous relationship. Damn, you got married young.
He also intentionally said previous marriage and previous relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder how old the children are. One kid from a previous marriage. 26, they've been together for 4 years. They got together when he was 22.
So he got married young.
Super young. But also maybe the child was out of wedlock. So he could have gotten someone pregnant at 16,
Right,
got
but
married
he-
at 18.
But he said from a previous marriage.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see.
We have lived together for 3 years now. I know I am in love with her, and I know she is in love with me. We have always been faithful to each other and still make time for each other. It has been a little hard since the beginning because we have issues communicating our feelings and expectations. I've had problems with finding my place in the world. I didn't really have a masculine male figure in my life that guided me, so everything about being a parent or a man I have learned through trial and error.
That's the case for most men, unfortunately.
Yeah.
However, there are resources, so that doesn't need to be a thing. And it's not necessary, guys. We have the ability now to YouTube and Google and find resources like this podcast, like Ryan Mickler's Order of Man, the Art of Manliness website. There are a lot of really good resources for men who have no fucking idea what they're doing to learn. I didn't have that. I had a couple of very short interactions with people in my life that I knew I wanted to kind of mirror when I got older, but I had no idea how to fucking do all that shit. It was trial and error. And if you can learn instead of trial and error and not have to struggle through through the same shit that all these other men have gone through and be able to just get that information, take in the information. If it takes you an hour a day to sit down and watch a podcast or study something or read or an audio book, the information's out there. The need to suffer and do this by trial and error is done. The difference is most people don't think to look for shit like that, or they're too lazy to do the work.
I was to say, I think laziness is a key component to it. We, like you said, we live in the information age. We're also living in an age where instant gratification is everywhere.
Right.
And personal growth, there is not an instant gratification in that. You will not see your growth for weeks, months, years maybe. So the thought of one dedicating themselves to a long process like that when they can just play Call of Duty real quick. People need to get comfortable in
being uncomfortable.
Yeah. The more I move away from those instant gratification things like playing the mobile games on my phone and whatnot, I am finding myself finding deeper pleasure in the things that take longer, like the cardigan that I'm making. I just finished my second component out of 10 components to make this thing a thing, but I'm already so stoked about it.
Yeah. You've been putting a couple hours into that
every day
for a while now.
Yeah.
You're right. I also noticed that when I stopped listening to music and started reading audiobooks and started like paying attention to podcasters, I wasn't doing it to become a podcaster.
Right.
I was doing it because of the information. Like, I'm a huge Andy Frisella fan. Like, huge Andy Frisella fan. I resonate with the things that he says a lot. Not just in terms of what it is to be a man, but I align with him politically. I agree with his business structures. We have a lot of similarities, although he's a lot further than I am. Like, he's a lot more well off than we are. But we still had a lot of the similar struggles. So when he speaks, I listen because we've gone through a lot of the same shit. I get it. I'm not like him. We have similar life experiences that has led us down similar paths, but he's done a lot more than I have. So when somebody like that speaks, I'm going to listen because there's going to be gold there.
Right.
And I may not catch it right away. It may be 6 months from now. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and be like, yo, that was smart as fuck. I can't believe I missed that because my subconscious caught it. But yeah, it's important to pay attention to that shit. It's also important to realize that there's a lot of fucking morons on the internet.
Yes.
There's a lot of people out there that are just good talkers that ain't done shit. Like, you don't want to listen to those guys.
Yeah.
Charismatic people who have nothing, have never done anything, are nothing more than a fucking snake oil salesman. Buy my book. And in this book, it'll tell you how to be successful. And it'll give you a little bit of a nugget of information. But if you want more, buy my next book because it's for the advanced. And this is the expert book. And before you know it, you've bought 6 fucking books and 2 seminars and you've learned nothing.
Yeah.
What you've learned is that they're good at selling their product to make you think that you're going to level your life up. And that's not how life works.
That is disgusting.
It's fucking common in this sphere.
It is. And it's slimy. And it gives me like the greaseball salesmen in the 1800s with their massive wagon caravan thing. Yep. I have the cure for all ailments.
Yep. It's cocaine.
All right, back into the email. I have had problems finding my place in the world. I didn't really have a masculine male figure in my life that guided me, so everything about being a parent or a man I've had to learn through trial and error. Financially, I do okay. I am an auto mechanic, and even through my divorce, I still continue to level up in my career where I can make decent money.
I love that.
Currently, I am working on starting a mobile auto repair business, and I am working a lot of hours, so it is hard to have that work and home balance.
I wonder what that looks like.
I am constantly stressed out about something.
Well, that's this business. But you know what? You won't be stressed out when your business takes off and you're making money. You won't be stressed out over finances.
Yes and no. You're not going to be worried about paying things. You're just going to have to be worried about where money's moving, when, and keeping track of all of that.
It's a different stress, though.
It is a different stress.
Broke shit happens to broke people. If our car broke down, I would just go buy a new car.
Right.
Like, that's a very different thing. However, when you have $1,800 a month, $1,800 a month, and that's what you need to pay your rent, and then another $3,000 across everything else, so you've only got to make $5,000 a month to live, and that doesn't even cover your mortgage when you've got money. It changes the scope of things. But you don't worry about money the same way. When I was broke, if my car went flat, if my tire went flat, or like my car wouldn't start. It was a very serious life or death situation because what if I lose my job? Then how am I going to pay my rent?
Right.
Whereas now I'm not even going to replace the tire myself. I'm calling a tow truck and taking it to the shop and driving the other vehicle. Like,
I don't want you to say that there's no financial stress though, because the stress changes.
you are not wrong. It is just different. It's just different.
I don't want this guy to be like, I'm here, the business going, then I'm still stressed about money.
Yeah. No,
Because it's a different.
Yeah, it's just different. Yeah. It's a different stress. It's a better stress.
Definitely is a better stress. It is a stress that I would rather deal with versus
Being broke.
me calling you crying because my car's not starting.
I wonder what the mobile repair looks like. Is he going to be one of those guys that drives up and down the interstate looking for cars that are broke down and offering to fix them? Or is this like a tow truck company? How does that work? Like,
What does it look like?
you get, a mobile, I would imagine a mobile auto repair is that you would need some sort of like F-350 with a giant fucking tool thing in the back of it and a jack and stands. I can't imagine that would be a cheap like venture.
Right.
But I also think that it would be a venture that could be done over time. If you went and got an LLC, I'm gonna get into business real quick.
Okay.
If he opened an LLC, took the LLC to a credit union, used the LLC to get a $50,000 loan. With the $50,000 loan, went and put down 20 grand on a truck so that he could actually buy the truck, and then took the other $30,000 and stocked it full of tools, he would have a car payment. He would have the loan payment, but all of the shit would be there. So instead of having 15 different credit card payments and having to worry about the money going around, he would have one payment that he has to make to the bank every month on that $50,000 loan that's a part of his LLC, not his personal. He could still use his personal to get credit if he needed to buy the other things. But I'm willing to bet that in that scenario, I'm willing to bet that 50 grand would be enough to start that business. Even if he only put 10 down on the truck.
Okay.
It'd be a higher truck payment.
Right.
But I'm willing to bet that that would work. You'd have to get insurance and all that bullshit too. But I bet I could do that with 50 grand. And I don't even know the business, but I bet I could make that work.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's sexy.
Is it? It's just, see, this is the shit that they don't teach you in school.
Right.
This is why it's important to have mentors.
It really is.
I would really like to get John Hogan on here.
Okay.
I know that John is a talker. My fucking God, is John a talker. And I love him to death, but he has life experience that I will never experience. He's dealt with a lot of shit, but he's my mentor. And then when I have big business moves, I will call John, and it'll be a 2.5 hour phone conversation for a 5-minute answer. But
it's worth it.
it is worth it to me.
He is a very interesting man too.
He's got a lot of life experience.
He is a man of many things as well. He has a garden. Like,
he has a greenhouse, not a garden.
No?
And it's his greenhouse is bigger than our house.
okay,
It
he has a
was before the
greenhouse.
hurricane.
The man's growing fruits and vegetables and flowers and
Peppers. Lots and lots of peppers.
man's got a
He
garden.
he really enjoys torturing people.
I am so glad that I let him down in that moment when
Yeah.
I ate that apple. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hot. It was very hot.
Sean said the peanuts were hotter than the apple crisp.
Really? I'm gonna have to try the peanuts.
Yeah, peanuts.
Peanuts. There is a part of me that can't show weakness in that kind of situation. I don't know if it's like, I don't know if my mind correlates it to like there's a bunch of predators in the room, and if I appear weak,
You're gonna pounce.
right? Like, not saying that all of the men in the house are predators.
Right.
Just like primal brain, if I show weakness, I'm gonna get picked off. Can't do that.
Not me. I'm like, oh my God, get the milk, get the milk. that Packy chip challenge that we did at 100,000 fucking wrecked me.
That was 100,000.
That was at 100,000 subscribers.
Oh, I thought you meant like the heat decimal things that
No.
they do it at. I was like, no way, that was 100,000.
No, it's more than that.
Yeah,
It's
that
more
was
than
hot. My stomach was messed up.
Yeah, I had to take Pepto that night.
I did not. That was probably a really good idea.
Yeah,
Me just raw dogging pain. Why do I do this to myself?
I have no idea.
What do I have to prove to me?
Did you try on your Harley boots yet?
No, my foot's broken.
Not both of them.
I know. My foot's broken. I didn't think to put them on. They look very nice though. Very excited to ride that Harley. I know it's not a Harley, but
Your motorcycle.
my motorcycle.
I was going to correct you, but you can call it whatever you want. I'll pull the labels off of it. You can call it whatever you want to fucking call it.
Think about calling it Matilda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Call it your broom.
My broom.
What was the really fast broom in Harry Potter?
Oh, the fire. What was it? I want to say it was the Firebolt. Firebolt 3000.
I have no idea.
Nimbus. I have to Google it now. I want to say it's the Nimbus Firebolt 3000. I'm just seeing Firebolt. So I'm correct to a term, to a bolt, to a point. Oh, okay. So there's the Nimbus 2000 and then there's the Firebolt. I'm almost certain the Nimbus 3000 became a thing later in the books, but you just brought my nerd out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harry Potter was a big escape in my childhood. That and a series of unfortunate events. Any final thoughts before we... Okay. I started a new path in my life around November. I found Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit. Okay. The ideals they preach really resonated with me, and being that I have no other mentors, I jumped headfirst into implementing those ideals into my current relationship and all aspects of my life.
So you cheating on your woman now? Because that's what they tell you men are supposed to do.
I need to take a minute. I've always wondered what a man's mindset is when he puts a lot of weight on those two presences specifically, and now we have an email of somebody who actually...
Those guys spout off a lot of factual shit, but there's a lot of bullshit that they speak.
Yes.
They throw a lot of bullshit out there to like be edgy and triggering and continue to get the views, to continue making the money that they're making, and like push that. It's bullshit. To me, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
The business aspect, and like you look at the Andrew Tate thing, and he's supposed to be pro man and all this shit, yet he was behind a keyboard while women were doing OnlyFans content or cam girl content, taking men for thousands and millions of dollars. His words, taking men for millions of dollars, but he's pro man. You're not pro man if you're taking money from men like that. It's not how that works. It's not pro man. You're pro money.
Right.
And now you found an edge and you're working that edge to make money. Andrew Tate's smart as fuck.
He really is. He's taking advantage of the men who follow him.
Right.
Like,
he's doing the exact same thing. The only difference is he's no longer using a cam girl.
wow.
He's charismatic and he knows how to fucking talk. When I watched his interview with Piers Morgan, I'm like, yo, I like this. And then I did the deep dive. And when I did the deep dive, I'm like, I don't like this man. I don't like what he stands for. I don't like the way that he made his money. But I like the message he preaches, minus the multiple woman thing. Like I don't believe that men need multiple women. I believe that we need different women throughout our lives because people grow and they don't always grow together. And like you can look at the people who are like, well, you know, you're going to have 3 loves in your life or 5 loves in your life. I think that's also bullshit. You can't say that you're only going to love 3 people ever in your life. That's the most moronic fucking thing I've ever heard.
I think people tell that to themselves to feel better about their relationship hopping.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that you are going to have a whole lot of different loves in your life. And I think you're going to have different hobbies and you're going to have different things that you relate to. And to think that you're only going to have 3 people that you truly love in life and one of them is your soulmate, you're an idiot.
Love starts early.
Puppy love starts as a teenager.
Right.
And that's pure.
Oh, yeah, that is definitely pure, untainted, has never been hurt. Yeah.
Even the Fresh and Fit guy was the same thing. They get really dumb women to have conversations so that they can rip them apart with stats. And if you get somebody that's prepared for a debate, like has actually done the work for a debate, and someone who has no idea what's going to be talked about, how dumb is that person going to look because they haven't had the time to prepare for war the way that these men have? And they find those women, Fresh and Fit find those women on sugar daddy websites. They're looking for dumb women who have a body that are used to selling who they are to men who have money. Of course they're going to be able to rip those women apart. Those women have no sustenance to their character. They don't, you know what I mean? Like
their energy goes into their appearance,
it's
not
fully
their knowledge.
superficial, right?
Yeah.
Putting all of their worth into depreciating assets because that's what your body is. It is a depreciating asset. It will fail you
Yes.
eventually.
Yep. You know, I actually just sat down and watched the whole interview with Just Pearly Things on H3H3 with Ethan Klein. And that's one of her biggest arguments is that men 18 to 80 are most attracted to 22-year-olds. And she was like, that's their foot in the door, is their attraction to 22-year-olds. And Ethan Klein was arguing with, that's wrong, though. Like, they might be attracted to women that way, but they're not going to want to date women.
Right. There's a difference
age.
between trying to fuck somebody and trying to marry them.
Right. And her argument was, well, the appearance is a foot in the door. Like you said, appearance is a depreciating value. So I don't care how hot you were when you were 22, 23 years old. If you don't exercise your brain and gain knowledge, you're going to end up those 30, 40, 50-year-olds now going, I can't find a man because you solely relied on your appearance to get them when you were younger.
Do you think a 40-year-old millionaire is going to sit down and want to have a long-term relationship with a 22-year-old moron?
Oh, God, no. No.
You've got a body to offer. You don't cook, you don't clean, you don't do womanly things. You want to be pampered. You want to be what did that woman call it? A kept woman? How did she word that? Do you remember that video? That woman was like, I want to be...
I think she did say kept woman.
But she wants to not have to do anything.
Right. She doesn't want to do the household, the homemaker duty. She just wants to be kept.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm good on that.
Okay.
Real shit. Real shit.
Real shit.
And this is probably going to trigger a lot of people.
Okay, I'm ready.
If I was a 40-year-old billionaire or even 100 millionaire and I was doing business deals and I needed a pretty face, I would either find an Instagram model for the night to be the pretty face or I'd hire a fucking escort. I got to be honest, I would probably hire a high-end escort that's in her 30s that are very attractive to play the role of my woman for the night. And not for like sexual purposes, but to like look like I'm in a long-term relationship with somebody because you are going to be dealing with other men who are married.
Right.
Most millionaires are married. Like 90% of billionaires are married. And this long-term marriage is not like fly by the seat of the pants wedding and then divorce kind of thing.
Right.
So for those kind of people who are making $100 million deals, if family life matters, and you're like, oh, this is my fiance, I don't know, Trisha or whatever you call that girl for the night, and you're able to make that business deal, that person that's meeting your fiance doesn't have to ever meet them again. Once that deal is done and contracts are signed, that doesn't matter anymore. So when you drop her off back at the hotel or put her back on a plane to go where the fuck she's going and you go about your life, the business deal is closed. It's a perception.
Right.
It's no different than wearing a really nice fucking suit when you sit down to have a business interview.
That's actually a thing for high-end escorts.
Yes, it is.
So I watch a lot of videos. I want to understand as many people as I fucking can. And I've listened to women talk about being trafficked on the Vegas Strip. I've heard women talk about being a high-end escort, high-end sugar babies, the life that entails that. And those high-end escorts, there are women who have kids. And the guy will be like, bring photos of you and your children and we'll pretend we have a family. I'll pay you $100,000 for the week. Yep. Crazy. Back into the email?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to backtrack because we bullshitted a lot. I started a new path in my life around November. I found Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit. The ideals they preach really resonated with me, and being that I have no other mentors, I jumped headfirst into implementing those ideals into my current relationship and all aspects of my life. It helped me start my business and get my health right. Those implementations made me feel more manly in our relationship until ultimately it made my fiance feel like she didn't have a voice or say anything.
So you dominated her.
Or a say in anything.
So you dominated her.
He did exactly what they preach. Yeah.
So there's got to be a conversation that comes into that. Again, I agree with a lot of the shit that they say. There is a dark side to that I vehemently disagree with. But like the man leading the house and making the money and being the provider and being the protector is all shit that we've preached on the podcast. That's why people are like, oh, he's a tattooed version of Andrew Tate, because I've heard that shit. It's fucking stupid, but I've heard it. So if he's listening to that and he's taking the good bits of it and he's doing that, he should have had a conversation with her like, hey, I'm ready to level my life up and I want to provide for you.
Right.
I'm going to start making business moves and I need you to trust me. Can you do that?
There could also have been a conversation of, I've heard these men say these kinds of things about family. What do you think?
Yeah.
How would you feel if I started stepping into this role in our household?
Those conversations have to be had.
Yeah.
You can't make assumptions and just think that it's going to work that way. I don't know. I do believe, though, that most women do want that.
I agree.
They want that man. However, with the current climate of the dating game, younger women do not want that. They don't understand it. They think that submission has a negative undertone, that masculinity is toxic, and all of that bullshit. So as Fresh and Fit and the Andrew Tates of the world are creating this new man to combat the bullshit feminism that's happening, they're creating a toxic aspect to it. And I think that that's where the line needs to be drawn. But I think that as those more men become that, and they start creating businesses and doing all of that shit, it doesn't matter what feminists are doing. Because for every 10 loud feminists, there's 100 women who want a traditional fucking household that will see that guy over there killing himself and go, yo.
That's the one.
That's the one. Right. Oh, you want me to delete my Instagram? You got it. Yes, sir.
I don't even have an Instagram.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting off of work at 5:30? Don't worry, babe. Dinner will be done at 6.
And good news for those men, like once you start doing that, those women are going to start flocking.
Yep. There's a resurgence. I believe that.
Yeah.
The problem, I believe, is that most of the toxic ones are the loudest on both men and women.
Correct.
And that's why the Fresh and Fit podcast is doing so well.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I thought they were banned on YouTube.
They get banned all the fucking time. They get banned all the time.
Oh, they can just create a new channel?
Yeah, I don't know if they're creating new YouTube channels, but they've been banned from TikTok. You get banned. It's just the way it is. It's funny. We've had one account violation on YouTube, and it was because of a copyright issue.
Okay.
And it wasn't like an actual strike. It was just like a, hey,
you guys did this.
Yeah, can't use this music. But I don't know.
The control on social media and when they choose to exert that control is very strange to me.
Yeah, it is. It's a violation of our First Amendment, but that's a different conversation.
Well, there's that, and then there's family channels like 8 Passengers that have been on YouTube for almost a decade.
I don't know what that is.
Ruby Frankie just got arrested and for all the child abuse. I was telling you about it. Her child escaped and ran and to a neighbor's house.
The one that had the duct tape marks on him or whatever.
Yeah, they were tied up. He was malnourished and whatnot. Yeah. Very alarming channel. The things that she said. At one point, her preschooler went to school and it was her preschooler's duty to pack her lunch. And the teacher called and was like, your daughter doesn't have lunch. And she was like, well, it was her job to pack her lunch. So she needs to sit there and be hungry and learn a lesson.
Wow.
And yeah. So they allow family channels like that on YouTube, but Fresh and Fit, absolutely unacceptable. Crazy to me.
Yeah.
Not advocating for Fresh and Fit to be on YouTube, just...
I think they should be on YouTube.
Where is the line that we draw?
I think that everyone who wants to say whatever the fuck they want to say should be able to be on YouTube. This whole you can't go into a theater and scream fire thing that everybody likes to say, it's been said on the news. You can't go into a theater and yell fire. Yeah, actually you can.
Right, there's consequences to it.
But you fucking can.
Right.
It may create panic and you could get like a disorderly conduct charge or some shit like that, whatever that charge would be, because you're creating mass hysteria.
Right.
But First Amendment right is the freedom of speech, not the freedom of speech unless I don't like it. I vehemently disagree with a whole lot of shit that I see on the internet.
Right.
But I believe in the right for you to fucking say it, and I will defend that right for you to say it.
Yeah. And taking away people's rights to say the things that they want to say, you are blurring their character.
Yeah. You are basically starting what started the Nazi Party in World War II. Oh, you don't like that? Let me go ahead and strike that. You can't say that anymore. Oh, you don't like this? Strike this.
Isn't there a poem that said first they went after...
Yep.
It didn't affect me, though.
Yep.
And then they went after, and then they came after me, and then there was no one to defend me.
Yep. It's actually a poem that's posted in the Holocaust Museum.
I want to go to the Holocaust Museum.
That's a fucking sombering experience.
I do a lot of history research. I love seeing historical photos, seeing what what it was like. And people may not believe in empaths or whatnot. I when I see historical photos, I am able to put myself in that living situation.
Have you been to a Holocaust museum?
I have not, no. Like I've touched pieces of the Berlin Wall, and just I pick up an energy off of it. I don't know. And seeing photos of like all of the shoes and the rings, it's.
Yep.
And for people to say, "Oh, it wasn't that bad."
No, fuck that. I don't know anyone who has ever been to the Holocaust Museum and not cried while they were in there. In real life, my people that I have met who have been there have all been like, "Yeah, I sobbed like a fucking baby the whole time I was in there."
Thinking about it, I want to cry.
Yeah. There's train carts that you can see the claw marks where people have like were holding on to the train, trying not to be ripped out of it. And like the piles of shoes is one thing, and like it's a lot. It's a lot. And the scary thing is right now, what happened in World War II, Germany, is starting to happen right now. The same rhetoric that's being spewed in the Middle East is the same shit that was being spewed in Nazi Germany. You can look at the vernacular. You can find the speeches. It's almost verbatim. Yeah. But the problem is, if you don't know history, you're bound to repeat it, and they're not teaching that shit in school anymore.
They're not.
Anyways, I don't want to get into that because that will get us in a lot of trouble.
Right.
In terms of YouTube.
Yeah. Before I forget, is there a museum near us that we could go to?
I think there might be one in Tampa or Orlando. We can look. There is one in Florida.
I would like to.
Yeah, I would too. I would like to take kids when they're old enough, but they're not there yet.
Yeah, no. I don't want them over inundated with that kind of
They don't need to see any of that right now.
Yeah, they're still at that age where they're at that pure innocence.
Yep.
And I hate knowing that one day I am going to have to introduce them to the evils of humanity.
You're not going to be the one to do that. The school system's going to. Their friend circles are going to do that.
We're homeschooling them.
Yeah, it'll still be the younger generation that does it. You can try to protect your kids as much as you want. It'll take one time for them to hit Netflix or YouTube to see something that they don't
anything on the internet.
Yeah, that's why we regulate shit the way that we do. Hey, did you see that the Daily Wire had that bent key thing? Oh, we talked about this at length. Never mind.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
Back into the email. Those implementations made me feel more manly in our relationship, but ultimately it made my fiance feel like she didn't have a voice or a say in anything. This was not the purpose of the changes, so I began to backtrack some of those implementations for the better of our relationship. I don't know if I was doing it wrong or if what they preach is more for the beginning stages of a relationship, but either way, something needed to change. It was clear it wasn't working.
He was doing it wrong. If you're a single man and you're following Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit and you're building your brand and you're doing the hustle, right? And you're doing everything that you need to do, even if you believe that men are supposed to have multiple partners and all that bullshit. Mm-hmm. And you find a woman and you get into the relationship with that being the expectation of what your relationship is, it's very different than starting a relationship, finding someone you admire, and then mimicking those people.
Right.
The answer to that is if you want to follow that, you have the conversation, you communicate what you're trying to do and the changes that you want to make, and you get her to go along with it or come along with it. Like, if this isn't what you want, tell me. Like, do you want me to just be a normal worker? Do you want me to own a business? Like, you have in-depth conversations to evolve. You don't just go, this is what we're doing, woman, deal with it.
So let me ask you this. With the way that Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit preach their message, was he doing it wrong or was he really just following what they said?
He just missed the communication aspect because they don't talk about that. They say the same shit over and over again. Their message is the same thing over and over and over again.
I've also heard Andrew Tate say, though, you're like, as the man, what you say is final. You really don't have to take into account what your woman has to say.
Right. Well, they also don't hold the value of a woman the way that a traditional value does.
Right. So if he's listening to that message from Andrew Tate, he's not doing it wrong. He is implementing what they're saying. So it's not that, it could not be that you're doing it wrong. It could be that they're not the person to follow.
You got to keep in mind, too, that there's a shock factor that comes into a lot of these things.
Like, it's the perfect WWE
comparison. It is 100% about charisma, show, and statistics. You put those three things together, you find a way to sell it, you realize that there's a lot of fucking neckbeards and incels and unhappy fucking people out there that need that, like, you're the fucking man speech. It's why there are so many speakers who make a ton of money on self-help, because there's a lot of fucking people out there who feel worthless. Yeah. And all they're doing is capitalizing on the fact that you feel fucking worthless.
Their goal is not to help you. They are capitalizing on you.
Yep. Buy my next seminar. Buy my next book.
Got the cure-all to any ailments.
Yep. And when you look at the Andrewtate and the Fresh and Fit and the whatever podcast, that whole thing is just about shitting on people.
Oh, yeah. I truly believe their end goal is to just
bring
clowns.
It's shock value.
Yeah.
I can't believe they said that. Here, look, let me send it to the people that I know that are going to agree with it. Let me post it to my social media for everyone who doesn't agree with me, just to trigger them. Like, it's shock value.
I don't know the dude's name on the whatever podcast. You can see his face change when a woman says something. He's like, oh, that's going to do really good. His face changes and he just digs his heels in on it. And they'll talk about the same topic for 20, 25 minutes. One of them walks out. That's a whole moment.
I have never watched a single episode of any of that from beginning to end.
I see clips.
I don't even watch the clips. I've watched some of the Candace Owen clips, and I've watched some of the clips that we've been tagged in Discord, but I don't normally make it through. If you're talking statistics, there's statistics.
Right.
There's not really a whole lot you can argue there. Studies have found blah, 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 blah. Well, what about it? This study found blah, 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 blah. You can rebuttal it all you want, but that study, this is the result.
Right.
Anything you got to say beyond that, the how, the why, the what's, the ifs, when, whatever, doesn't fucking matter, because this study, these statistics, is data. There's not a real conversation to be had there.
Right.
They present the question to dumb people that they know are going to argue with them, to get them to argue, and then provide the statistics and the data.
Yeah.
That's not a conversation. You're triggering somebody and then trying to gotcha, look at the data.
Oh yeah, they look for people who argue from their feelings.
It's not helpful at all.
They got someone like me on their podcast and they hit me with a statistic, I would just go, huh.
You would never make it on their podcast unless you were on the other side of the table arguing with those people.
Right.
That's what Candace Owen did.
Yeah, I don't think I have the energy for that.
I think Candace Owens going on that show, she did so. I'm sure she got a speaking fee, but I think she did that to like get more clout for like her organizations and the movies she's doing and like. Yeah. But I don't think that there was a real benefit there either. No. She just got on there and argued with people. You see that all of her content now is her shitting on people. Like that interview she did while she was pregnant on stage talking, people are asking more questions and she was really shitty towards them.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Yeah, her quote, "Life is hard, get a helmet."
Yeah.
I'm too pregnant for this.
Yeah. How is that going to change somebody's mind?
Right, I think that further drives the point of
shock value.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe she said this. Let me send it to everyone I know that agrees with me. Instead of having a conversation with somebody like Jordan B. Peterson, or originally Candace Owen, or Thomas Sowell.
Yeah. Hit him with, why do you feel that way?
Yeah. It's just there's conversations that could be had that presents an argument that is an intelligent argument, that is not name calling, that is not shitting on somebody. Yeah. And unfortunately, those conversations and those arguments start from both sides. This podcast is not at all about an email. We keep going way off the fucking rails. We do. Let's get back to the email, because we're almost an hour in and we haven't even made it past a paragraph yet.
Holy shit. I mean, we have.
Okay.
You want AJ to cut all that?
No, I'd leave it in. Fuck it.
All right. Fast forward to a few weeks ago when she told me about your podcast. I was instantly drawn to watching a lot of episodes, because if this is her way of expressing what she wants out of a man in this relationship, then I'm going to learn as much as possible. I want to do better. Since we started watching together, we have implemented check-ins twice a week. It is twice a week because I have a really hard time waiting to talk about things.
That's healthy.
That is healthy.
That guys, I swear to you, I know that we are told to push things down and suppress it because it doesn't fucking matter. But if something's bothering us and it doesn't get resolved in a timely fashion, it will become resentment. You will put it away and you will harbor it. And though you won't remember it, that feeling of that will still be there, because we will forget it. We will eventually go, well, you did something a while ago and it made me feel like this, but I can't remember what it was. How many times have you heard me say that shit?
A lot.
We do that. But that feeling is still there. And because we didn't process it, the feeling's there, but the why is not. You have to have those conversations. And if you need check-ins every other day, have the fucking check-ins every other day. If you get angry, process your shit and sit down and be like, hey, do you have 5 minutes? I'd like to check in with you. It's not a reason to fight. You're not looking for an argument. You're looking for resolution.
Right.
And it's important to follow the rules of the check-ins when you have that. And eventually you won't need check-ins anymore because you'll know how to talk to your partner.
I'll just say the check-ins, the can we have a check-in is a lead into a safe environment, a non-judgmental, I'm not going to get defensive. And then pretty soon it's just going to become conversation because you're unlearning all of the toxic self-defense mechanisms and the armor that's put on, knowing going into a conversation there might be tension.
Right.
I like to talk about things immediately so we can move on and deal with the next issue that's coming. I don't like to dwell on things. Before your podcast, she would be very masculine. For example, she would only wear work clothes around the house or she would be naked in bed. She does look good naked, but she only got naked when ready for bed. So it was not something that felt special for me.
I hear that. I get that.
She would also respond to me in a very abrupt and argumentative way most times. Now she puts effort in on her appearance to look more feminine, and she has really made a 180 in her attitude. Now she responds more feminine to me and even calls me sir, which I adore. I love that. She definitely has become more of my peace. I have changed as well. I am more calm and understanding. I am listening to her feelings more without being dismissive. I am telling her a lot more of stresses in my life. The check-ins allow her to tell me how I am doing, and I can have that in the front of my mind during the next few days so I can change. Let's just talk about the stark contrast between listening to Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit versus listening to us.
Okay.
He went through and implemented everything those men said, and it had a very negative outcome on their relationship to the point where she's like, I don't feel like I matter anymore.
On their relationship.
Right.
But on the personal life, his personal life, he started leveling.
Right.
There is, like I said earlier, there is a positive to those podcasts. There is a dark side which will destroy longevity in a marriage if that's what you're looking for. And that's the problem. When you have feminists screaming, fuck all men,
right,
and then you have masculine role models going, women don't fucking matter, fuck bitches, get money. Like, do you see how that's going? How is that ever going to align?
Right.
Fuck all men, fuck bitches, get money. Want to get married? Yeah, fuck you both. Like, that's how that portrays to me.
Right.
You don't have a teammate at that point. It's very one-sided on each side of things. You can't, there's no success in that.
Right.
It's just not. If he took the business aspect and all the things that he learned from that podcast and implemented it, and then took what we say and implemented that, he would have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
However, I also talk business. Not that that matters. I don't do it on the level that they do, but I believe all of the business aspect and the financial freedom to protect, provide, all of that shit. I believe in all of that. The things that they spout on that, I believe 100%. It's the other things that I disagree with vehemently.
Right.
And I'm also man enough to go, hey, I agree with that, but I disagree with this, and I don't hate them because I disagree with them.
Right.
I'm smart enough to go, hey, this is an act.
Yeah.
This is a show. This is shock value.
And it's working.
And it's working. Good on them.
They found a rubric that works, and they're running with it. I love hearing in emails how we soften women.
Yeah.
And along with men, he's softer now. He's more understanding. I don't know. It's just, we've lived that chaotic marriage, not with each other.
Right.
In past lifetimes, we have lived that chaotic relationship, the chaotic marriage, the frustrations, the unableness to communicate, whether it be comprehending or actually saying what needs to be said. And now having the peace that we have with each other and knowing that we are opening doors for people to access that as well. I used to have a very restless soul. Like, I didn't know what my purpose was in life, and it's helping my soul get cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah. For example, one morning I woke up and the house was a little cluttered, and it had been like that for a few days. It was mostly things she had left around, like her purse on the couch and knickknacks on the counter. I had to move things to sit on the couch and eat breakfast, so it was annoying, understandably. I calmly said that she needed to pick it up, and next time it was left out, I was throwing it all away.
Pause.
Whoa.
That's an extreme.
Holy.
But how petty is it to get annoyed over a purse on the couch? I get mad when there's glitter on shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking herpes of the craft world. I don't want that on anything. And it's all over our fucking house. Because we have a 4-year-old little girl that wants to run around in mermaid shit, so there's glitter fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And when I point it out, you'll clean it up. And then we'll have to take that outfit because some of that shit sheds.
Right.
But it's one of those things that I would never get mad at you for leaving your purse on the couch. Just move the fucking purse, bro. Like, it takes you... This is the same argument for women who are like, well, he didn't make his underwear to the basket.
Right.
Who fucking cares?
He folded the towels wrong.
Bro, no one's trying to kill you right now.
Yeah.
You have food. You have clean running water. You are financially stable. It's a purse. I don't understand how that's so hard.
Right. That could have been a conversation of...
Cat did it.
That could have been a conversation of, I noticed you left your purse on the couch last night. You usually don't do that. What was going on yesterday? No, I just forgot. I had a million things on my mind. And then she can tell you about the million things on her mind, and now you know she was overwhelmed in life, and she just happened to put her purse down on the couch. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I'm running through the processes, and like there are like the petty way. Cat did it, right?
We don't even own a cat.
Yeah, it was a big bobcat. It got in. I chased it out with a broom. I'm the hero, but it knocked her purse over in the process. Petty, level 1, right? Level.
It was the strangest thing ever. He avoided everything in the house but your purse. And
right. Yeah. Level 5 would be what you did. You have a conversation about it. Like that's mid-tier premium content right there, right? Like you guys are having a conversation. You get to, connect emotionally. Level 10, like the all-star, I'm winning.
Yeah.
Would be like, babe, I noticed that like you don't have a place to put your purse when you come in at night. And like I stick my keys in the refrigerator, or I put them in the tray on my computer desk so that I never lose my keys. Is there like a hutch or like a thing that we can put by the front door, like that I can buy you, like a big box thing for you to like put your stuff on when you get home, so it's always right there where you need it? Because then you don't have to complain about the purse being on the couch. You can buy something for the purse to go to, and it will always go there every single time, and you win.
I want a hook for my purse next to the front door.
I don't give a shit what you want. Level 1. We just went full circle. I don't know if your purse would hang on a hook. I'd have to get like a 100-pound drywall anchor for you to hang that fucking thing. Your gun's in there. You've got all change in there. Your keys. That hutch in there is not enough. Can we get like a cubby? And then like you can just put all your Louis bags in it so you can figure out which one you want to get when you're going versus hanging it on the wall? Or do we have to buy like a hat hook thing?
I thought you didn't give a shit.
I don't. I'm trying to problem solve. I don't care what you do with your
No,
purse.
I know. I'm trying
Just
to
don't
match
set
your
it on the
first level
floor.
of petty.
Yeah.
A cubby system sounds very nice. I would like to have my purses easily accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for problem solving with me.
See? Level 5.
This ain't even our problem, and we have a new solution in our house.
Yeah, stupid shit. Goobers.
I don't know if a cubby system would work. Our
It
foyer
won't.
is always so cluttered, and
Yeah, it wouldn't. We'd have to stop ordering Amazon shit. I need to break down a whole bunch of boxes today, too.
so it was annoying, understandably. I calmly said that she needed to pick it up, and next time it was left out, I was throwing it all away. I was trying to be assertive so it wouldn't happen again, but instead it made her feel like a child.
Yeah, because you were a dick.
That is something that I literally say to our children. This is the 4th time I'm asking you to pick this up. If you don't pick it up, I am picking it up, and it will go into the trash can.
If you leave it on the floor, it means you don't want it.
Yep. It is something that's literally said to children. I too would be offended by that. If you hit me with, if you do this again, it's going to go in the trash. Try that again, Daddy.
1, I would never throw away your $7,000 purse. I would make it a point to be like, I'm going to sell this shit on Facebook Marketplace to recoup my money. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't threaten me.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would just move the fucking bag and set it on your side of the couch so I could sit down. I don't understand why people make problems out of something that's not a problem.
If it becomes a reoccurring thing, like this is the 6th time you've moved the purse, it could be a conversation of, hey, babe, would you mind just setting it down on the other end of the couch?
Yeah, it's the same argument as the fucking laundry basket. You guys got to pick your battles.
Yeah.
If it doesn't matter in 5 seconds, 5 minutes, or 5 hours, it doesn't matter. If it's 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years, you have time to plan for it.
Right.
The severity of things matters. I'm not going to nitpick over things like that. I'm just not.
Right.
And in the event that, like, I didn't want to say something about it, I would just go sit down in the whiskey room or go in my room and watch TV. Like, sometimes I'm just not going to say shit.
Our room.
The room. I don't know. Either way, I'm not like, I don't know. That shit's petty to me.
Yeah.
It's petty.
It also says something about why are you so ready to go from 0 to 100 with annoyance? Like right off the bat in the morning with your breakfast.
Yeah, I don't get it.
There's a heavy mental load there, and I would reevaluate your emotions. I am somebody who, with my BPD, I have a very short fuse a lot of the time, and it's something that I have to like, stop it. Like, I have to be on top of that shit, and that is something that I had to really work on, because I don't want to be known as somebody who is easily annoyed or easily frustrated. I'm not viewed that way, am I? You don't think I'm? Okay. That means I'm doing the thing. There would be times right off the bat where I would wake up in the morning, I would drop my toothbrush. Fuck, this is the day I'm having.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, I'm going to say this before I forget. So if the purse on the couch annoyed you right off the bat that early in the morning with your breakfast, instead of getting annoyed with her, ask yourself, why am I so annoyed right now? Just got out of bed. Birds are tweeting outside. Little morning glow going on. It's quiet in the house. Why am I already so annoyed? Introspective questions are important.
Here's a what if. We know that you're responsible for food in the house, right?
Correct.
Even if that means door dashing. Like your duty as my wife is to make sure that I'm fed. My duty as your husband is to make sure that there's money for food for me to be fed. If it's her job to be doing those things, and she's making you breakfast while you're getting ready for work and waking up, is it really that big of an inconvenience to move the fucking purse?
Right.
I know what our house looks like. If I have to carry your purse from the couch to the hutch by the front door, it's like 15 steps. And we got a big fucking living room. It's like a 30-step round trip. Get your steps in, homie. It's not that big of a fucking deal.
Yeah.
I'm done with that conversation. It's petty.
I wonder, that thought process of being annoyed by that slight inconvenience, what is your reaction when there's a major inconvenience?
Right.
And how would you talk to her during that major inconvenience? That's something I would also be asking myself, because that hiccup and treating her like a child in that moment, now escalate that by 100. Car accident.
Right.
What's your mindset then? How would you react in that moment?
I'm willing to bet that was the way his parents treated him.
I believe that. I would believe that, yeah. I realize now it was wrong because this is her house too, and I didn't exactly explain that it annoys me to have things laying around. I have been doing better with explaining my expectations during check-ins and really putting in an effort to tell her more details about the irritations of my day, whether it be my job or business troubles.
I wonder if he's listening to her irritations.
Right.
And I asked that because if he's really that into that Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit shit, there is a belief there that a woman's duty is to serve. You are inferior. It's about us. We don't need y'all. We're the catch. There's a toxicness to that shit.
Right. She has done better with understanding that I am not necessarily angry with her, that I just want the problem fixed so we can move on to things that matter more. The problem is I don't feel like sex is special between us. I don't know if that's normal for men to feel like it's just an activity. She says that sex is very enjoyable for her and that I am the best that she has ever had. She says she feels very loved. I do enjoy sex, but it's as if it's the same enjoyment that I would get with any other female. Obviously, it just feels like that because I'm not having sex with any other woman for comparison, but the point is I don't feel the intimacy with her during sex. I do feel attracted to her. I am in love with her. I do feel intimacy in other aspects of our life, just not during sex.
Okay, so what's the problem? Sex to you is just an act. Got it. If you're feeling intimacy in every other aspect of it, what does it matter? Mm-hmm. Not everybody has that sexual intimacy like that. Like that new lust. Oh my God, this is happening. Is very different than when you've been with somebody for 4 or 5 years.
Right.
That changes. You have to actively make that not change. You have to find new ways to keep it spicy. Buy her lingerie, take her to dinner and fucking, beat the brakes off of it in a hotel balcony somewhere. Like fucking a parking garage. Don't do that. It's illegal, but you can, especially if you've got a pickup truck. A big pickup truck. A lot of room.
Are we getting a new truck?
I want a Ford Raptor.
That's the truck you sent me, right?
But no, we're not buying a new truck. Anyways, if your intimacy needs are being fulfilled in other aspects and sex is just sex, fuck it. Let sex just be sex. You don't have to have the emotional intimacy there. If she's getting her emotional intimacy needs filled there and you're getting it in other areas and you don't have a need to have sexual intimacy, and sex is just an act to you, get your nut and move on.
So he says, I don't
Obviously, take care of her needs too. I'm not saying not to do that.
Right, don't neglect her.
Right.
So he says, I don't know if that's normal for men to feel like it's just an activity.
What does it matter what's normal for other men?
I wonder if he felt this way in his marriage, his first marriage.
I don't know. Sex is different for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody has different emotional needs that need to be fulfilled. It's no different than love languages.
Right.
So.
I have stopped watching porn and masturbating, like you have suggested.
Good.
Because I felt like that wasn't helping at all.
It definitely is not.
One thing that doesn't help is when we are having sex, some of my thoughts are, she has done this with other men, so am I really that special?
You've done it with other women, so who gives a shit?
I have to perform or else I am not good enough. Am I sexy enough? So those are all things that run through his mind.
He's young.
Yeah.
That's an immaturity.
Yeah.
That's the way a lot of young men feel.
You have chemically rewired your brain. Watching all of the corn and the self-pleasuring, that is... And if you've done it for years, you now have to rewire your brain and undo years of chemical changes.
Here's a thought. While you were watching corn and pulling the pud, you were doing it to other women who have been ran through like a fucking train station.
Yeah.
So you weren't worried about getting off to them, but you're worried about your woman and where she's been? Tell me there's not a fucking hypocritical statement in that.
I love to please her, but it definitely does get in my head. She doesn't feel permanently my woman. She doesn't feel permanently my woman. Our love feels fleeting. I hope I'm explaining that correctly.
You think that your love is based purely on sexual intimacy? Because if that's the case and you don't feel sexual intimacy, she's not the one for you, bro.
Yeah, this is also a you problem. She's telling you she's happy and satisfied. So you've done a lot of growth. I'm not saying this is the case. It could be a possibility. You might just be growing apart from her. I think this comes from childhood trauma and never having anything permanent. This has been the longest I have stayed at one place. I went to several different high schools and have always found new friends. Even my ex-wife would leave every time something was hard or difficult. She would run to daddy and beg for help. Granted, we were both terrible for each other and there was a lot of other trauma involved that I have since worked through. My fiance is the only one, even more than my own blood, who has stayed loyal through all life's bullshit. I know it's terrible that I think this way during sex with her. I am just trying to be honest so I can get help. I honestly don't think this has anything to do with her. She is saying and doing everything she can to prove her loyalty and love over and over again. I will also say that I have trouble feeling emotion about anything. Emotion is hard for me in general. Please help me because I want to share the intimacy with her and have sex feel special with her.
There's a difference between not feeling emotion, like sociopath or depression, versus not being able to express the emotions you're feeling.
Or process them.
I'm curious if you've had a life of abandonment, nothing's ever been permanent. Wouldn't that make you long to have permanence and not have the abandonment? And if you have a woman that's making you believe that that's not the thing for her, and she's shown you that she's in it for the long haul, you have that permanence.
Right.
You want to self-sabotage that now because of some past shit? That's not the move.
I'd say this would be self-sabotage. You are so uncomfortable in a stable, healthy environment. Everything in your body is going off that you need to run. So you're questioning everything about it. And I think you fixating on the lack of intimacy and the sex is your alarm system latching onto something and pushing that reason for you to leave. So there are questions. Number one, will it take more time for my hormones to detox from the corn and self-pleasuring?
Yes, you have to rewire your brain. It's going to take time for that. It's no different than any other addiction. It takes time for that to go back to normal.
Is it normal for sex to feel less than for men?
It can be. Here's a thought. Okay, here, all of you men out there, I'm going to hit you with something. I want you to really just let this sink in. Treat sex like a job. I don't give a fuck how shitty that sounds to women. Men treat sex like a job. You have a task. The task is to make sure the woman gets what she needs. Focus on that for as long. Treat it like you looking for your 10mm socket. It's going to take some time. You got to really put some effort in. And when you finally find the socket and you can do the fucking job, you know that you've been looking the entire time. That search for the socket is the work that you're putting into your woman. When you find that 10mm socket and you know that she's exhausted and ready for bed, then you get to worry about you and enjoy yourself for a little bit and then go to bed. I don't understand why this is such a hard thing. We are purpose-driven individuals. When we don't have purpose, we have problems. That's a normal thing for men. So when you go into the bedroom, treat it with purpose. It's not about you, it's about them. Focus on them until you believe they are completely content. Focus on you, call it a night. It's super fucking simple. And it doesn't need to have an emotional intimacy involved in it. The emotional intimacy or the emotional reward that you get from that is knowing that she can't walk afterwards. Or that she had astral projection because of everything that you've done that no other man has done, because most men are selfish individuals. Yeah. It's not hard if you just pay attention to what they want. It doesn't, you don't have to have an emotional attachment to it. My sexual gratification is purely mental. It always has been. So for you and I don't know how, I don't even know how to word all of this without getting us kicked off of YouTube. But there has been times where we have had playtime that's lasted for 3 or 4 hours and I've just gone to bed afterwards. Because I fixed the job. Like I got the transmission replaced on the car. I'm now tired. I'm mentally satisfied and I'm going to get a good night's sleep. And then the next day you reciprocate that and things move on. It doesn't always have to end with fireworks. You guys put too much, that's little boy shit. It's little boy shit.
There's also a fun in, what the fuck's the word?
Delayed gratification?
Yes, what is it? The anticipation of it.
Yeah.
The buildup of it. Yeah.
We really need to do a sex talk episode for Patreon because there's a lot of things that I want to say right now and I can't say any of it because it will get us kicked off YouTube. Okay. And I don't mean like talk about our sex lives, but like I think that there's a lot of information that we have that could really turn that dial from a 3 to a 9 for people in a bedroom.
Yeah, I think I can give a lot of tips to women to help. You still chase me.
Oh yeah, I'm a fucking simp. And you were that carrot that's being dangled by the guy on my back to make me move.
And I like to believe that it's not just because of how I am as a person, it's the things that I do for you.
It's D all of the above.
Right. So
but it's constant. It's not just like
it's not a once every 2 weeks clockwork. You can predict when it's going to happen.
I think that a lot of that comes down to a maturity as well, though. The other night when I came home from poker, and you were all done up and in that thing that I like, I was tired. Did not have a good night at poker. When I walked in the door, that was the least thing on my mind. But I knew coming in, like seeing you like that, this is happening. Like she did the thing. So even if I didn't want to do the thing, I'm going to take a few minutes, get that mind right, forget about the fact that I lost at poker and did not have a good night. Okay,
and you ended with a good night.
Let's go to bed, right? Like, but there's an emotional maturity in that. Because if I was having a really bad day and saw that and was like, babe, I'm having a really bad day, you would then not want to do that as often. You would feel like, hey, how is your day going? To see,
I would start checking.
It would change things, right? But that emotional maturity comes from life experience. I know that had I treated that situation differently, you would not do that anymore. I don't want you to not do that anymore because even though I was not feeling good about myself when I walked in the door, seeing you like that made me feel good about myself. It was like, okay, today sucks. Today doesn't suck that bad. And as the night went on, today really doesn't suck. Today was great. Right? But there's life experience. And that's why I said we need to make a video like that. I just don't want to.
Are there some activities? You know what? I don't want to either. I think it's a good idea. I don't want to either because I know that there are filthy fucking deviants out there.
Why I want it on Patreon. And even though that doesn't matter, it does matter.
It's $15 a month. Anybody can pay it. Like,
yeah, but I don't think, again, like I don't want to have a discussion about our sex life so much as talking about those kind of things.
It doesn't even have to be about our sex life.
Yeah.
The fact that we are talking about it, people will still get off to that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they will. I don't think men will.
I believe they will, yes.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Me talking about sex, yes.
I think the way that men are with corn and how far that has to go for men to get gratification from it, I don't think talking's enough. I just don't. Because that whole process goes from very innocent to very not.
Right.
Over a very short amount of time because they need that next dopamine response. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm a woman. I know.
What? I'm a man, so do I.
So, I know I have heard men, like simp boys, talk about that kind of thing.
That's insane.
I checked my messages today on TikTok. I have 500 requested messages. 150 of them over the last day. Like I go through and I clear them out and they just keep building up.
I actually opened mine so that people could message, and I'm getting more messages about fake accounts scamming people than anything else. Yeah. But I am getting relationship shit, and that's one of the videos I have to make today. Like, hey, if you want us to respond to you, don't fucking message us.
Right.
Email us. tobebetterco@gmail.com. That's how you'll get a response.
Yeah, my messages are that, asking advice to spam accounts, and then dudes trying to hit on me.
Should screenshot that shit.
So.
Should screenshot all of them.
Yeah.
And then make a green screen video and swipe through all of those pictures and be like, this is the kind of shit that women deal with. I'm a married woman who's happy, who has a podcast on successful marriages, and these are the type of men who think they're going to slide into the DMs and get attention from me.
Yeah. TikTok, there's message requests. I pop in there every once in a while, and I see some things where I'm like, really, that's how you chose to reach out to somebody, especially a woman, a married woman. So, first message, very light, right? Timus. Hi, gorgeous. What did you expect to get out of a married woman from that message? A friendship? This one got me good. I gagged at this one. Ready? From Steven. Hi, gorgeous. How are you doing? Hope you're staying safe and healthy. I don't know if you've ever had a sugar daddy before. I don't know if you are even interested in me being your sugar daddy. I will be paying your weekly allowance. Way to really sell yourself, Steven.
I'd put them on blast. I absolutely would. Pain and embarrassment are the two best teachers on the planet.
Yeah.
I would belittle every one of those dudes. Fellas, you are so lucky that I'm not an attractive woman. I would mentally break every one of you fuckers. I would make a game out of it. That would be my entire purpose in life if I was a woman who was attractive as you are with a social media presence.
I don't want to put my energy into that.
Oh, I would.
I have so many other things to think about.
I would create a whole nother account. I would create a whole nother personality. I would be Peaches and Dama Peaches. And I'm telling you, I would fucking wreck people over that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if I was a woman, my mindset wouldn't be there. But as a man,
I used to be that woman.
As a man seeing that shit, it bothers me. Not because they're messaging a married woman. It's the energy that goes into that. Like, you are that frail of a human being that you're going to try to do that instead of trying to actually find a woman for you. Like, I don't know. It's pathetic to me. I see that as weakness. I think that's probably why I would destroy them the way that I would. Yeah. It is what it is. Anyways, let's move on. We're an hour and 30 minutes into this. And
are there some activities that we can try to improve the intimacy between each other? Well, we don't know what you already do.
Right. Nope, we don't.
So I'm not going to start rattling things off just for you to email us back and say we already do that.
Right.
I would consider her inexperience in sex. I am experienced in sex. Does that have something to do with it?
Whoa.
You just said that you think about all of the men she's been with.
Yep.
Okay, now I don't understand.
Okay, so all of that, I think about the other men she's been with is that fresh and fit Andrew Tate nonsense. Men don't want women with a high body count. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So now you're insecure about a woman's body count, but then you say she's inexperienced in sex and you're not, which means you've been with a lot more people than she has.
And it doesn't bother her.
And it doesn't bother her. Right. She may not be. Are you thinking that your woman needs to be a porn star? You want her to say filthy things to you and stick her finger in your ass? Like, what do you need? Because you're not going to get that with somebody from a low body count.
Right.
Unless they had a freaky motherfucker that they were with before and learned a whole lot of shit from them and then is bringing that to your relationship. And if you had an issue with her body count, imagine the kind of issue you'd have if she was a freak. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
What do you mean?
The whole freak thing.
Oh. I don't understand. I don't get the bad way. I don't.
Because some people think kinks are bad.
Last question. Any other suggestions?
Grow up.
I would stop watching Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit for relationship advice.
Same. And I don't mean that grow up in a negative. You're young. Mm-hmm. And I know that in your 20s, you don't want to hear that shit. Especially when you're around 25. Quarter of your life is over.
You young.
Right, but you feel like you got 1/4 of your life out of the way. And like 15 to 25 was the worst decade of my life. 25 to 35 was pretty dope. 35 to 45 is looking to be fucking incredible. Like I'm almost there. I got like 2 more years to that 45 mark. And in just the last 3 years, my life is skyrocketed, changed. So like your life is going to progress, but with that comes life experience and wisdom. Knowledge is not power. Utilizing the knowledge is power. And in order to utilize that knowledge, you have to gain wisdom.
Right.
Because knowledge and wisdom are not the same thing. Mm-hmm. So like at 20, 25, younger than 25, you're a child still. You have a whole lot of life lessons that have to happen. And you're going to have catalysts. There's going to be something that's going to happen and it's going to click. And you go, okay, that makes a lot more fucking sense than it's ever made before. I'm not doing that anymore. Mm-hmm. And you can look at them as forks in the roads where you're going to see something. Maybe it's a riddle and you fucking solve the riddle and make a better choice. I don't know how you want to metaphor that, but they're catalysts. You have moments that change your fucking life and it happens a lot. At least once a decade, something pivotal happens that makes you change your perspective on things. Mm-hmm. That's where that wisdom comes into play. So you're young still. You have maturing to do. Maybe I shouldn't say grow up, mature.
Mature is, I would say, the better word to use.
Grow up does work, though. It just has a negative tone to it because people are told to grow the fuck up.
Yeah. I would say a good comparison between knowledge and wisdom is that just Pearly Things has a little bit of knowledge, and I would say I have some wisdom.
Well, that's a comparison between two people, but why is that the case?
What do you mean?
Why does she have knowledge and you have wisdom?
Because she is able to spew facts and statistics, things that she's learned. The wisdom comes with the application of those things.
So are you saying the difference between you and her is that she's able to remember for the test and you're able to life experience to pass the test?
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between studying to remember data versus life experience that lets you problem solve.
Right.
That's the difference? Okay.
That makes sense?
It does.
Okay.
I don't envy young men.
Me either.
I don't envy young men because the amount of misinformation, and you are a consumer of a product to make other people money at the detriment of your own life.
Yep.
They give you a little bit of this is the right thing and a whole lot of this is the wrong thing. And like you'll get a little bit of success or a little bit of happiness and you'll go back looking for that next level, right? Like you're always going to try to be fed. It's no different than a bear that finds a trash can. You can take that bear and relocate it 1,000 miles, but it will always make its way back to where it found food because it's in them to find food. So you get a little bit of sustenance and then you get a whole lot of fuckery and then you got to come back to try to find more sustenance and they give you just a little bit at a time. It's like keeping a dope addict addicted. I don't know. I don't envy young men.
Right.
And with the state of affair and males, good men not being in the home, I don't see this changing anytime soon. I think that we had a really far swing to feminism and a really far swing to men are everything, fuck bitches, get money. And there's not an in-between. And the in-between is what's going to be the nuclear family.
Well, we are the in-between.
I know we are, but we are not to the scale of either one of those.
Right.
We are a very small minority in that big ass group on both sides. And like people are swinging and they're going by us so fucking quick that they don't see what's over here. Or they disagree with something that we say and go to the extreme because they can relate to some of the extreme or they find entertainment in it. We're not here to be entertaining. We're here to problem solve. There's a fucking difference. Critical thinking. Those who need the message will hear the message.
Right. This email is titled, "This is Going to Hurt." You guys are absolutely amazing. I would love to hear an outsider's opinion on this matter. What?
They obviously watched the shitty episodes from 30 to 31.5 and are expecting us to shit on them.
Yeah, maybe.
This is going to hurt.
I mean,
okay. If that's what you want.
Some.
Let's fucking go. That should be the intro of the video.
Yeah. Been in a relationship for 16 years. True definition of his ride or die, and he is mine. He surprisingly proposed to me after 10 years, but within the first 6 months after being proposed to, and after I started planning our wedding, he indicated we have some things to work on and didn't want to get married anytime soon.
Oh boy, got cold feet.
Bro, why'd you propose then?
Placeholders.
But it was 10 years after.
Maybe he thought he was ready and then realized maybe he wasn't.
Oh. There could have been a catalyst.
Could be a lot of things.
Crazy.
Could be a lot of things.
Every relationship has its issues.
Yep.
His main issue with me is I don't communicate my feelings until I get to a point of hurt and frustration, then I let it all out.
Yeah, so you're blowing up. That's a problem.
It is a problem. There is a lack of emotional regulation there.
Yep.
A lack of processing it too. My main issue with him is the lack of quality time we spend together because we are both running our own businesses and time is limited. Okay.
That's an easy fix. That's an easy fix.
It is an easy fix. And if you guys are already doing those kinds of things where you're making time for one another and in the time that you have and he's not blowing you off to go with the boys or play video games instead, there's really nothing that can be done about that because you guys chose to run businesses.
Right. I also wonder if this is a scenario where it's not that they're not getting time together, it's that she misses him because he's not present when we're there or the relationship has changed.
Yeah.
But if you're a business owner, it's real fucking easy to download Cozy or Google Calendar and put your calendar together so that you can both see it and block off Tuesday nights from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock for a date.
Yeah. I am tired of playing house and pretending to be a husband and wife. Tired of being introduced as his wife when I'm really not.
I can see that would be a problem.
How does a man propose, then decide not right now? Should I even care when we live like husband and wife? Example, shared finances, car notes, mortgage, expenses, etc. I would be pretty upset by it, so I'm going to pause for a minute. Getting married by the government is something that some people disagree with, right? The government shouldn't have hands in those kinds of things and whatnot. With a private ceremony and having like the religious aspect of things and promising yourselves to one another before whatever deity that you believe in or the universe, however you want to do that, if that was also off the table, I would feel a certain way about it.
I agree.
Why would you not? Like, I could understand not wanting to get the government involved, whatever their excuses for that. I would still expect the marriage ceremony and the dedication of ourselves to one another.
Right.
This life, the next, until death do us part, however you want to do that. I don't think that you're wrong in feeling that way at all, especially as a woman. The women tend to put more weight on the marriage and getting that process going versus men. So,
well, we also know that in the event that we get married, that men get married and something doesn't pan out, we lose our shit.
Right.
There's a lot more risk. And young men, like the last emailer, hear it constantly. There's not a risk to reward in being married. There is a very small group of successful entrepreneur speakers who promote marriage. They're not as popular because they don't relate to incels. I hate that term. I would prefer to call them neckbeards, but that whole scenario is such a small group because they're not as loud. They're not shaming people. They're not embarrassing people. They're not playing on that emotional aspect of men, so that doesn't get hurt as much. But we know that we are more likely to lose our shit in a divorce, and most people don't believe prenups will do anything, or they don't believe in a prenup because I'm madly in love. Well, you might be right now, but 10 years from now when there's problems, the prenuptial agreement is your insurance policy.
Right.
And it should benefit both of you. That's why you make it while you're in love. So in that scenario, maybe he just doesn't see the value in getting married. If you're already living, he's got the cow. Why the fuck is he going to buy the milk?
I wonder if something that she has been pushing for.
And he was trying to appease it?
And he was trying to appease it.
Maybe.
And then in doing so, and maybe things were unraveling, like her lack of communication, there might have been a massive blow up. And he's like, okay, wait a minute.
Right. I can't just leave if this continues.
Right.
And that's the thing. There are a lot of people out there who are like, I don't want to deal with this shit. And if I get married, I can't just walk away from it because a breakup is a breakup. A divorce is 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Very rarely, especially if there's kids involved, divorces are never just a clean break. There's financial affidavits that have to be filled out.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole fucking process that goes into a divorce where if you're just dating, you get that car, I get this car. You can have the fucking house, I'm leaving. But that also speaks to the divorce. If he believes that he needs an out, you shouldn't be getting married.
I know your response is going to hurt, but I truly feel if he wanted to marry me, he would.
I agree.
I also agree with that. So I know within the last several years have all this self-doubt if I am truly So I now within the last several years have all of this self-doubt if I am truly the one for him, and if I am not, it's time to shit or get off the pot.
Did they say how old they were?
No, they've been together for 16 years.
So 30s, 40s?
For context, I was married before with 2 children out of that marriage, and my ex-husband is not in the picture or in my children's life at all. So my fiance has taken care of my children as if they were his own since they were little. No infidelity issues, no baby daddy issues, no major catastrophic issues that other couples experience.
So then the issue is that he doesn't see the value in marriage. You are already living as if you're married, and you've been doing so for 16 years.
Right, he's raised your children.
Right. This is solely I believe this is solely him going, there's no point in us getting married. This point, our lives are so intertwined, we're living as if we're married. Why actually go do that?
Right.
It's time consuming. You're both business owners. You got to take time away. You got to plan for a wedding. There's money involved in all of that when you could take that money and go on vacation to fucking Maui Like, there's a whole lot there. Why not just do a private ceremony, exchange your vows, and go about your life?
Right.
You need to talk to him. You need to find out what's holding him back because there's a reason for it.
I agree with that. I also would not have the mindset of shit or get off the pot.
After 16 years
This is 16
and
years.
him raising your kids? Yeah, I wouldn't either.
After 16 years, raising children together, him stepping into that role when he did not have to. Yeah. That's a very shitty thought process to have. I would view that as an intrusive thought.
Yeah.
That's some negative energy trying to get to you to ruin what you got.
Could be.
I'm good on that.
Could be. I believe that if men want something, they will go after it viciously to obtain it. He's got you. You're living as if you're married. He's not going to see the value in getting married at that point. If you've been living this long as a married couple and he's introducing you as his wife, he doesn't see the value in the marriage.
Yeah. It could also, I don't know how long they've had their businesses established, what their businesses are. Getting married might be a lot of paperwork for the businesses as well. No?
Nope. If they're sole proprietors, them getting married doesn't matter at all.
Okay.
If
like tax information and whatnot.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
If they have LLCs with no trust, also doesn't matter because they would be primary shareholders. If they own an LLC and she's 50% and he's 50% or 49-51, also doesn't matter because the LLC is a separate standalone entity that is not them.
Gotcha.
So that scenario doesn't matter. So he can't use the businesses. The only thing business-wise that I could see would be the fear of having to lose his business in the divorce because even if they both have a businesses, she would still get alimony. If he's the breadwinner, like there's a loss there that comes with that. But the kids aren't his. So like he doesn't have to worry about that either.
Right. It could be well, the alimony would still be a concern.
Alimony would be.
I'm about to say the upkeep of a lifestyle or however they say it.
I don't think that she could go after him for child support, but in a divorce scenario where there's kids that he's been supporting for 16 years, they may take that into consideration. However, if the kids are almost 18 years old, that doesn't matter either.
Right.
There's got to be something there that he doesn't see the value in, whether it's an easy exit, because that is things for people, or if he just doesn't see the value like in the covenant between two people and God. Like I would have never gotten married again if I wouldn't have found my faith. I wouldn't. Like I just didn't think that I would ever even end up in a relationship again. So like God put you in my life. I'm like, I hear you, bro. Bring that shit. Like, let's do our covenant. I got this. You lined it up. I'm kicking the field goal. We're going to victory dance for the rest of our lives. I got it. I see you. But that there's a spiritual aspect there for me that made that a thing. I don't know.
Last paragraph is, I know marriage is a piece of paper, so I can care less about that.
It's not. It's not a fucking piece of paper.
With the government, it is. To just say marriage as a blanket statement is a piece of paper tells me you don't really know what marriage is.
Right.
And now I can understand why you're questioning everything because there's a lack of understanding there.
Yep. I need to know what the next sentence is before I unload.
I just want to be a good role model for my daughters when it comes to having a healthy marriage and the longevity of a relationship.
Well, you're already doing that.
You are. You have done exactly that. You've done 16 years of it.
Do you think that signing a piece of paper so that you get half of his shit in a divorce through the government is going to make your daughters see anything different than the great relationship that you've had? You can definitely stress marriage and like instill that in them without actually being married for whatever your reason is, or you guys can do a private ceremony in your backyard and make marriage more than a piece of paper, because marriage is more than a piece of fucking paper. Marriage is more than a piece of paper, so much so that they're getting rid of common law marriages. Like, we need to have the sanctity of what a marriage actually is. It's not, there's vows involved. You are making a covenant between you and your person and your God if you have one. This marriage is just a piece of paper is feminist nonsense.
It is. And also, if you do have a God and you still believe that marriage is just a piece of paper, talk about a slap to the face.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't pagans have rituals
Yes.
where you give each other to each other?
Yeah, they jump a broomstick. Some of them do, and
Yeah.
it's a whole thing.
The jumping of the broomstick was a slave thing. Yep. I don't know if that actually came from Africa, but like that was really big in the 1800s with slaves.
Wow.
But there are rituals throughout history to recognize that covenant. And when you, I don't know. I don't know. I know that I'm guilty of divorce, and so are you.
Right.
Like we have our past. People have sin. Like we all have things that we have done that we've had to move past.
Right.
And you have an opportunity to do it again and do it right, and you do. Like you learn from your mistakes and you move the fuck on. Marriage has a different tone to it now that I have my faith than it did when I didn't.
Oh yeah. Same for me. Yep.
So, but that's a us thing. Speaking of faith, every Sunday for the foreseeable future, we will be having a 20 to 40 minute episode dropping on our YouTube channel where my adopted mom breaks down scripture. So if you are only listening to this on Spotify or Apple and you are into that, or you are curious about it, check out our YouTube channel, To Be Better, on YouTube. Every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. it will release. It's not preachy. It's literally just our understanding of Scripture, the way that my adopted family believes, and we have discussions about it. The first one that we did will air way before this does.
Yeah.
By like 2 weeks. So by the time this airs, there will probably be 2 or 3 episodes. And you can check that out if that's something that you're interested in. If you do check it out, I would love to have your opinion. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think about it so that we can try to figure out how we're going to do that moving forward. But
If you guys aren't interested in that content, understandable. We hope that you continue to support the other content and continue to gain something from the information we can provide.
Yep. Steve really enjoyed editing that. He actually asked me if he could be the person who handles all of that moving forward.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
I'm glad he enjoys it.
Yep.
It's crazy to see how people in our life and their lives are changing.
And it's quick.
It is quick, yeah.
Yep.
There's a couple more sentences left.
Cool. And then we can eat. And then we got to go to the studio.
Like, I would not want my daughters to stay with someone who proposed and then backed out of that proposal. So no matter the circumstance, no matter the feelings and the emotions and whatever could have transpired between the two of them, between the proposal and the wedding, leave the relationship, absolutely cut strings, unacceptable. That's your stance on that.
Yes, there's too black and white. There's no
It
gray
is.
area there. That's problematic.
Am I being too close-minded about the proposal?
Yes.
I almost wish he would have never proposed because then I wouldn't have this doubt in the back of my mind.
That is also a fair statement.
It is a very fair statement.
So here's my solution to this. Give the ring back
I would, yep.
or set a date. Do a check-in. If you're familiar with the content, you expect it to strip you apart. Do a check-in. Put the ring on the table. Be like, you gave me this however many years ago and you have not followed through with your oath to me because you asked me a question and I agreed. We made a covenant. You have not agreed to the covenant. You have not set a date, and I don't believe this is going to happen anymore, and I feel like wearing this ring is a lie. I would absolutely like to be your wife, whether we do it through the government or not, but I need some sort of date and structure, and if we're not going to do that, you can have this back. I'm not going to wear it anymore because it is a lie.
And that lie has certainly changed things.
It's affected her mental health. You
Yeah.
can see it in the email.
I would also make that known. Your lie has affected my mental health, and I don't think that I see you the same as I did before this.
I would not say your. I would say the lie.
The lie. Okay.
Yeah. That way he doesn't get defensive because it is his lie. But I would say the and not your just to not have the conflict.
I would also say I view it as a lie because there's no elaboration as to why.
Yeah.
There's been no explanation. Did you get cold feet?
Did I do something wrong?
Right. Like what did I do? What changed?
I would also hit him with the, because if she said it to us, she said it to him, that marriage is just a piece of paper. And if that's what he believes, there's no point in having it. You can go to Staples and buy a piece of paper You can get online and print out a marriage document and frame it if you want to.
Right.
A piece of paper is meaningless. It's not a piece of paper. Your marriage should have fucking meaning to it.
You guys can pick your favorite tree in your yard, go stand underneath it, promise yourselves to one another, and go back inside and watch a show.
Right. Because there's a covenant there.
Right.
That ring is a covenant. It's just a promise of a bigger promise. You guys need to realize where the meaning is. You can't say marriage is a piece of paper and then send an email saying that you're upset that he's not marrying you.
Right.
Obviously, you know that's bullshit. Or this email wouldn't exist.
Right.
That's the conversations that need to be had during the check-in.
I agree.
You need to be honest with yourself. Marriage has more. It's more than a piece of paper. To me, it means more. I didn't realize it until I sent To Be Better an email, and they made me realize that marriage is not just a piece of paper, and it's something that I crave. And if you want to be with me and you want this to be the rest of our lives, I want to be your wife.
Right.
Being your wife has more meaning to it than a fucking label to me. There needs to be a deep conversation that needs to be had there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I take the role of husband very serious.
I take the role of wife very serious.
And if it wasn't a real thing and we didn't have the covenant that we have between each other and our faith, I don't care how, I know you guys aren't religious. Some of you don't want to hear that, but that's prevalent for us. Our life would look different.
Right. It would. I believe no matter what your faith is, there is a spiritual aspect to a marriage.
Should be. It should be. Yep.
Just even on a scientific level, the brain operates. The brain can do the bodily functions, and there's people on life support. There is a consciousness there. There is a soul there. There has to be a deeper understanding that we are not just we're not just getting our humanly bodies together. We're doing this for life.
Yeah. Yeah. Deeper connections.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours. It'll probably be an hour and 30-minute episode. Do you have anything else that you would like to add to this? Because I would like to eat before we go meet up with Discord people.
No, I don't.
That being said, guys, remember you are the authors of your own life.
So grab a pen.
And we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.